Russian governor says counter-terrorist operation ongoing in Belgrade. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. First in the news this afternoon, the national scene where President Muhammadu Buhari has said that the intensive fleet recapitalization drive of his administration, which was embarked on, was a key driver in the quest for national prosperity. Buhari made the disclosure at the end of the
President said his
Presidential Fleet Review (PFR) held in his honor by the Nigerian Navy to mark the end of his administration. Speaking on the theme of the PFR, Fleet Readiness for National Prosperity, the President said it was carefully chosen to underscore response capability of the Nigerian Navy to infringements in the country's maritime spaces and in the Gulf of Guinea towards attainment of national prosperity. He commended the Nigerian Navy for putting the warships and helicopters into effective use, as evident in successes recorded in the fight against resource theft, counter-drug operations, and piracy.
I had the honor to commission a new helicopter NN410 manufactured in Italy and an Escada, a land ship transport built in Sharjah, United Arab Emirates, and NNS Ibino, donated by the People's Republic of China. I have no doubt that the incoming administration of President-elect, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will sustain the current tempo of our administration in giving Navy necessary support to effectively carry out its assigned tasks. My best wishes to our Navy for protecting our maritime domain and the economic prosperity of Nigeria.
Meanwhile, President Buhari will today inaugurate 7 legacy projects completed by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing across the country as part of his administration's determination to upgrade and expand the nation's stock of infrastructure. Reports say the projects include 3 major bridges, 3 federal secretariats, and a road. According to a statement by the media advisor to the President, Femi Adesina, the inauguration would be headlined by the 2nd Niger Bridge, which was conceptualized in 2005. Others are the Loko Oweto Bridge across River Benue to link Benue to Nasarawa State and the Ikom Bridge in Cross River State, while the road project is the completed section of the over 200 kilometers of Kano-Kaduna Dual Carriage Expressway and 3 new federal secretariats.
The Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund projects are also advancing remarkably. These include the 11.9 kilometer Second Niger Bridge, 120 kilometer Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, 375 kilometers Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano Expressway, and the East-West Road. The Presidential
Away from that, the federal government has commissioned enforcement and security facilities for the nation's maritime industry, including 5 new patrol and security boats. The Minister of Transportation, Moazi Sambo, who commissioned the project in Lagos State, said the project was part of the government's commitment to good governance and institutionalized policies for improved maritime safety and security. Appreciating the minister, the Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa Bashir, the recent cases of oil theft. In a separate development, the Minister of State for Labour, Employment and Productivity, Festus Keyamo, has said that President Buhari will not approve the newly proposed 65-year retirement age for Nigerian workers. The minister gave the reason in an interview with newsmen in Abuja. Keyamo said that an increase in service years will be the call of the next administration. Recall that the Nigeria Labour Congress, through its national president Joe Ajero, asked for a fresh retirement age for civil servants in the country during the 2023 Workers' Day celebrations in Abuja. In another development, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, has announced the delegation to grace the May 29 inauguration of the President-elect Bola Tinubu. In a statement from the White House, Biden disclosed that the Secretary of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, Mercia Fudge, will lead the delegation. According to the statement, other members of the presidential delegation include the Charge d'Affaires AI U.S. Embassy Abuja, David Green, United States Representative California, Sidney Dove, among others, will be gracing the occasion. In education, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has asked the government at all levels to look into revamping Nigeria's public schools, the primary, secondary and tertiary institutions, before they go extinct. The union made the request at its 22nd National Delegates Conference of the University of Jos. The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishaya, in his speech to the delegates, recalled that public schools, especially the primary and secondary schools, used to be the envy of the people, in which the majority of present leaders were beneficiaries, noting that the schools have been neglected. Meanwhile, the ASU National President, Professor Emmanuel Osodike, also lamented the dwindling standard of public schools, which he said is gradually taking its toll on the masses who cannot afford the private institutions or to send their wards outside the country for schooling. In the meantime, the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, have said that the estimated figure of the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria is no longer relevant. The Commission also noted that the availability of correct data on out-of-school children in the country depends on the Gidado tire. The present UBEC boss, Professor Hamid Boboyi, said that the Commission is desperately looking forward to the national census, adding that it will give UBEC an idea of the nation's accurate population. Recall that the National Population Census, which was meant to be held in May 2023, was postponed to an indefinite date by the National Population Commission, NPC. Back here on home front, as part of activities marking the end of his 8-year administration, Akwa Ibom State Governor Dom Emmanuel yesterday presented the final Transition Committee report of his administration to the governor-elect of the state, Pastor Umar Eno. The event was held at the State Banquet Hall, Government House, Uyo. A correspondent has the details.
Unfortunately, it appears someone...
let me first of all appreciate, starting from the transitioning committee, for excellent job they've done. The chairman, the members, I think they've done so well. We appreciate your work. Excellently done, beautifully presented. Nice reports. We try to go a little bit further by making sure the incoming government do not have to do a search on where information to make them have that continuity should be gotten from. So that's why we try, for the ease of processes, for the ease of transitioning, for the ease of continuity, try to put everything together in black and white. And today we needed to hand that over to the governor-elect in commencement of the week of transitioning and handing over. I first of all needed to hand over that document to tell him, where are we? We started working very, very fast. And when we entered January this year, Attorney General approached me again. I said I will not leave office if I don't have these law reforms published and unveiled. But I want to thank them, thank the Solicitor General, thank the entire team, the public law officers, the State Bar Association of the NBA, and the state chapter, am I correct? The state chapter, the judges that contributed, all those who contributed, Minister of Justice, the Judiciary, the State House of Assembly, they all contributed and made this day possible. I really want to thank them, and thank God that all of you are members of NBA. So when I thank NBA, I've thanked all of you. And today, they've made this possible. This is something that they really, really needed. So we must also look at certain things that will make us stronger, that will make us protect ourselves, will also make us protect our resources, and will also protect us as a people, and also foster economic development. I also remember when we were trying to acquire the oil and gas free trade zone. Oh, so much court cases and this.
On the news from Africa, authorities in the Mozambican capital Maputo have said that all beaches in the city will be closed between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. local time in order to combat crime. The authorities said increasing acts of violence, including rape and murder in Maputo, especially at night and often on beaches, have prompted the measure. The Municipal Director of Tourism, Lionel Masumi, said a request must be submitted and a team assigned to monitor any activity beyond the set time. Still in Africa, a Ghanaian peacekeeper, Cecilia Ezwa, serving in the disputed Sudan-South Sudan border region of Abyei, has won the 2022 United Nations Military Gender Advocate of the Year award for her efforts in promoting peace for women. Ezwa, aged 32, who has served in Abyei since March 2022 as the commander of the Ghana Engagement Platoon, will receive the award from United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres during a ceremony marking the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers on Thursday. Reports say Ezwa is the first Ghanaian peacekeeper in the United Nations Interim Security Force in Abyei, UNISFA, to receive the prestigious award. We move now to the foreign scene, where Belgrade Governor Václav Gladkov has said that a counter-terrorist operation was ongoing in southwestern Russia's Belgorod region after a town bordering Ukraine was reportedly attacked in an incursion claimed by pro-Ukraine Russian nationals. The governor made this known in a Telegram post, noting that the Defense Ministry continues to sweep the territory with the help of law enforcement agencies to ensure that counter-terrorism measures are put in place. Gladkov, however, urged residents not to return to their homes until the operation was completed. Still on the foreign scene, United States Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall has said it will take several months to get F-16 fighter jet to Ukraine. Kendall said the capability to operate the F-16S and a number of details have to be worked out before Ukraine's Air Force will be able to fly Western jets in large numbers, noting that his administration has provided few details of the plan to equip the Ukrainian Air Force with the US-made jets and other fourth-generation aircraft. Recall that on May 19, United States President Joe Biden had announced his country would embark on a joint training effort alongside allies and partners in Europe in support of Ukraine. Still to come in the news. Newcastle secured Champions League spot after 20 years. Do stay with us for details after the break. For staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. On our business news, the federal government has announced that no unlicensed petroleum products dealer will be allowed to load products from June 1, 2023, as it is set to shut down such businesses. The government gave the warning in Abuja through the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) at a stakeholders' engagement on gas utilization in Nigeria. It warned that from June 1, anyone who wishes to deal on petroleum products must obtain a license, stressing that the objective of the engagement was to enlighten operators on the need to urgently obtain the requisite petroleum storage license and to engender the transition from white products to gas. Still in business, the Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Kashifu Inuwa, has said that almost 30% of Africa's foreign direct investment ends in Nigeria. Inuwa said this at the Leaders Without Borders Annual Business Summit and International Earners 2023 in London. He disclosed that the Nigeria tech ecosystem has attracted about $4.4 billion investment in 2015, 2019, and 2020, and ICT has contributed to 18.5% of the country's gross domestic product. According to him, NITDA has aided Nigerians in the use of information technology and supported about 753 startups in different ways through training, seed funding, and grants. The NITDA boss added that the digital economy had created a pathway for emerging technologies, providing opportunities for talented youth in Africa to emerge as global leaders through harnessing their potential. We move now to health, where the Director General of the World Health Organization, WHO, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, has urged countries to be prepared for the next pandemic. He made the statement at the 76th World Health Assembly in Geneva, which is set to address global health challenges. The WHO DG hinted that the end of COVID-19 as a global health emergency is not the end of COVID-19 as a global health threat, noting that there is a threat of another variant emerging that causes new surges of disease and death. Ghebreyesus advised the public to be ready to respond collectively and decisively when the threat of the next pandemic arises. Still in health, maternal health experts have said that some family planning methods like implants, injectable and oral tablets are hormonal based and therefore can cause weight gain in women using them. Speaking with newsmen, the President Society of Gynecology and Obstetrics of Nigeria, Dr. Habib Saduki, said women experiencing weight gain while on contraceptives should be active and control their diet. According to a family planning expert and member of the Public Health Sustainable Advocacy Initiative, Abiola Adekoya, that the reason why women gain weight while using any of the family planning method is due to being in a clear state of mind. The expert advised that besides being conscious of weight gain, women who are worried about using hormonal methods should try other family planning methods. They added that family planning and fertility education are critical to achieving sustainable development and a secure environment. Let's move down to sports, where Newcastle has secured Champions League football for the first time in 20 years with a goalless draw against Leicester. Eddie Howe's side failed to break the deadlock in the match they dominated, striking the post 3 times, but the result was sufficient for the Magpies to make a long-awaited return to Europe's elite competition next season. 3 minutes before halftime, the hosts rattled the post again through Maguire Amlimron, while in the second half, visiting goalkeeper Daniel Iversen tipped over Alexander Isak's effort from distance. Reports say Newcastle are 4 points clear of 5th place Liverpool heading into Sunday's final day of the season, while Leicester remains in the relegation zone 2 points adrift of safety. Still in sports, the Denver Nuggets have reached the National Basketball Association NBA Finals for the first time after Nikola Jokic led a second-half fight back to complete a 4-0 Western Conference Championship sweep over the Los Angeles Lakers. The Nuggets overturned a 15-point halftime deficit to win 113-111. Reports say Jokic, the two-time NBA Most Valuable Player, finished with 30 points. The Nuggets will be facing either the Miami Heat or Boston Celtics in the final from 1 to 18 June. And our entertainment news, Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi, who reportedly achieved the 100-hour cookathon Guinness World Records, says she spent over 5 months on the actual execution of the event and has spent a lot of money organizing it. Bassi disclosed this to newsmen in an interview, saying that it took her over 5 years to conceptualize the event and a year and 5 months to decide if it would occur. Reports say Hilda cooked over 100 meals in a 100-hour stint, breaking the record of an Indian chef, Lata Tondon, who had cooked for 87 hours 45 minutes in 2019. Still in entertainment, British actor Ray Stevenson, who appeared in major television shows such as Rome, Vikings and Dexter, has reportedly died at the age of 58. This was made known by his US-based publicist firm, Viewpoint. Reports said his death was announced 4 days before his 59th birthday. The actor was known for roles in the Thor films and the Divergent series, as well as several UK TV shows like Band of Gold, Pig Practice and Murphy's Law. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do well to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anyekan. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.